everybody. I realize it's been a while since we've read a chapter from our book Double Fudge, so I figured maybe we'll get two chapters in today. But we're on chapter 5. It's called Bye Bye Susie, or Bye Bye Sue. I don't know where she goes. But anyhow, so here we go. Jimmy asked me to come down to see his new place. I convinced Dad to take me on Saturday afternoon. The downside was we had to bring Fudge and Tootsie with us because Mom was at work. She says her new job with Dr. Julie is the best she's ever had. As soon as we were through the turnstile at the subway station, a train came along. We got lucky and found seats together. Sometimes the subway cars are so crowded that you have to stand, squeezed between strangers like sardines in a can, as Grandma would say. Personally, I hate the idea of being compared to a sardine. The smell reminds me of cat food, even though Grandma says sardines are good for your bones. Probably cat food is too. It wasn't until we got off the subway at Spring Street that I noticed Fudge was wearing just one shoe. On his other foot, he had on only his yellow and black striped bumblebee sock. "Where's your shoe?" I asked him. "What shoe? The one that's not on your foot?" "Oh, that shoe." Dad said, "Put on your other shoe, Fudge." "I can't." "Why not?" Dad asked. "I took it off to itch my foot and now it's gone." "Gone?" Dad said. "Yes," Fudge said. "That was one of your new shoes," Dad told him. "I know, Dad." "And now you've lost it?" "I didn't lose it. I know where it is. It's on the subway." "The subway?" Dad said. "Yes," Fudge said. I should have convinced Dad to let me take the subway to Jimmy's on my own. There's no such thing as a simple trip downtown with my brother. He turns everything into a major production. Dad spotted a transit cop and waved her over, calling, "Excuse me, can I help you?" The transit cop asked. "Yes," Dad said. "I'd like to report a missing shoe." She looked surprised. "A missing shoe?" "That's right," Dad told her. "Fudge, show the policewoman your shoe." "How can I show it to her if it's missing?" Fudge asked. "Show her the shoe that's not missing," Dad said. He was definitely losing his patience. "Oh, that shoe." Fudge held up his foot. The transit cop whipped out a small notebook and jotted down all the information. Black with silver trim, child size, lost on the A train on Saturday, September 14th. She looked at Dad. "What time would you say?" Somewhere between 2 and 2:30 p.m., Dad told her. "Somewhere between 72nd Street and here." When she was done taking notes, she closed her notebook and shoved it in her pocket. "We'll do our best, but I wouldn't count on getting it back." "I have to get it back," Fudge said. "I need it for school." The cop shrugged. "I told Mom I needed 2 pairs, but she wouldn't listen." "I don't blame her," the cop said, "with what shoes cost nowadays." "I have plenty of money," Fudge said. He pulled a wad of fudge bucks out of his pocket and waved it around. "Why don't you keep those for an emergency?" the cop told him. "This is an emergency," Fudge said. "You want my advice? Next time, keep on both of your shoes." "Even if my foot itches?" "Especially then," the cop said. "Otherwise, you're going to be kissing more than one shoe goodbye." "Bye bye, Sue," Tootsie sang, blowing kisses. The transit cop did a double take. "How does she know my name?" "Your name is Shoe?" Fudge asked. "No, it's Sue." No way was I going to tell the cop my sister can't pronounce the sh sound. Finally, I got to Jimmy's. The streets in Soho are narrow and paved with cobblestone. It's a really old part of the city. The buildings used to be factories, but now most of them have stores or art galleries on the first floor and lofts upstairs. Dad said he'd be back for me in an hour and a half. I told him to take his time. The Fargo's loft is a huge open space with an old wooden floor and a pressed tin ceiling. "Pretty cool, huh?" Jimmy asked. "You know how many windows we have? 16. Want to count them?" "I believe you," I said, and they were gigantic floor-to-ceiling windows. "You know how high the ceiling is?" Jimmy asked. He didn't wait for me to guess. 16 feet. "Want to measure it yourself?" "That's okay," I said. "I can see it's really high." I looked around. "You could set up a bowling alley in here," I told him. "Yeah," said Jimmy, "or a basketball court." "You could blade or flood it and play ice hockey," Jimmy said. "Ice hockey." "Gotcha," he said, laughing and sticking a finger in my gut. "I hate when you do that," I told him. "I know. That's why I do it. Come on, I'll show you around." There wasn't much to see. Frank Fargo's canvases were stacked against one wall. There were 2 paint-splattered work tables. Old coffee cans held brushes. It smelled good, like the art room at school. There was no regular furniture, but that was no surprise since they didn't have any before either. At the opposite end of the loft was a kitchen. There were no doors anywhere except for the bathroom. Right about here, Jimmy said, standing in front of an X that had been chalked on the floor. We're going to build 2 bedrooms, one for me and the other for my dad. And he stopped for a minute to look out the window. Then he looked back at the floor. Oh, yeah, and we're adding another bathroom so we don't have to share. I wouldn't mind having a bathroom all to myself instead of sharing with Fudge and Tootsie. At least Fudge uses the toilet. Not that he remembers to flush half the time, but it's better than a potty. I think they're talking about like when you potty train a little kid. Not that Tootsie actually uses her potty for anything except a place to sit, but someday she will, and I'm getting a bunk bed, Jimmy said, so you can stay over. We might get a dog too. A dog? I was surprised. Mr. Fargo's never really liked Turtle, and Turtle isn't crazy about Mr. Fargo either. What kind of dog? A Yorkie, I think. A Yorkie? But they're so small. I know. I tried to imagine Jimmy and his father with a Yorkie, but I couldn't. How about a game of sock hockey, Jimmy asked. Sock hockey's a game we invented. Yeah, sure, I told him, kicking off my shoes. Jimmy passed me a broom and grabbed another for himself, threw down a box of Jell-O for the puck, and the game began. We've never had such a great place to play. You could run and slide from one end of the loft to the other without worrying about knocking over lamps or furniture. Not just because there weren't any, but because the place was so big. We were totally into our game when we heard banging on the door. Uh-oh, Jimmy said. He wiped his sweaty face with the bottom of his t-shirt and went to the door. Who is it? He called. It's Goran, your downstairs neighbor. He spoke slowly in an accent I couldn't place. Don't open it, I whispered. But Goran is our downstairs neighbor, Jimmy said. I met him this morning. I shook my head. Don't unlock the door. My dad will be back in a few minutes, Jimmy called out through the locked door. Actually, he had no idea when Frank Fargo would be home. So what's going on? Goran asked from the other side. All that pounding, it sounds like the ceiling's going to cave in. How am I supposed to concentrate? Sorry, Jimmy said. We were just, moving stuff around, I called, finishing for him. Oh, Goran said. I thought maybe you were playing sock hockey. Jimmy and I looked at each other. If we invented the game, how could this guy possibly know about it? We'll try to be more careful with our cartons, Jimmy told him. Fair enough, Goran said, and I'll try to get back to work. When he was gone, Jimmy let out a whew, and we put away the brooms. By the time we got back from Soho, Mom was home. How was your day, she asked. Very nice, Dad told her. We had a good time, didn't we, boys? I had fun at Jimmy's, I said. And I had fun on the subway, Fudge told her. So did Tootsie. I guess that makes it unanimous, Mom said, because I had a good day at work. Yay, it's unanimous, Fudge sang. That's when Mom looked down and noticed that Fudge was wearing one shoe and one fringed and beaded moccasin. Where'd you get that moccasin, she asked. From the store, Fudge said. The man took it out of the window. It was a real bargain, right, Dad? Dad nodded. But where's your other shoe, Fudgy? Mom said. Fudge didn't answer. Dad put his arm around Mom's shoulder. It's a long story, honey. Really long, Fudge added, laughing. The next day, when the transit police still hadn't found the missing shoe, Mom went back to Harry's, this time without Fudge. She bought another pair of shoes, the exact same ones he got the first time. So in case Fudge grows a third foot, he'll be all set. And with my brother, nothing is impossible. We'll do chapter 6, called Mr. Money. Instead of taking picture books to bed the way he used to, Fudge is thumbing through catalogs. He's choosing presents for Christmas and birthdays. He's working so far ahead, he's already circled what he wants when he's 12. Underwater watches, home entertainment systems with huge TVs, digital cameras, telescopes so powerful you can see Venus, a water trampoline bigger than his room and mine put together. Look at this, Pete, he said one night. It was a rope bridge 40 feet long. It cost $1,000. That would be useful, I told him. I know, he said. Uncle Feather would really like it. Lucky for us, Fudge doesn't know how to go online. The first time Fudge went to Richie Potter's for a play date, he came home full of ideas. We need a bigger apartment. A bigger apartment would be nice, Mom said, but we're very lucky we have what we do. But Mom, I need 2 rooms, one for me and one for my toys, Fudge said. And if you and Dad slept in the living room, I could sleep in your room and keep my toys in my room. Keep dreaming, Fudge, I said. I'm not dreaming, Peter. I'm wide awake. Later, he came into my room. I was instant messaging with Jimmy Fargo when I was supposed to be making a journal entry for my humanities class. I'd be in big trouble if Mom or Dad knew. The computer goes back in the living room if I don't keep my grades up. The problem with our family is, Fudge said, we don't have enough money. We need to get more, and fast. Cheer up, I said. Maybe we'll win the lottery. His eyes lit up. The lottery, that's it. But when he told Dad his brilliant idea, Dad said, buying lottery tickets is just a way to waste money. No, Fudge argued, it's a way to get rich fast. Fudge, Mom said, we're happy the way we are. We're grateful for all the good things we have, like each other and our health, and that's you, Fudge said, not me. This is getting out of hand, Mom said to Dad. I'm inclined to agree, Dad said. By the third week of school, Fudge had homework. I don't even remember having homework in kindergarten or even in first grade. But he was working on the floor in front of the TV while Mom and Dad watched the evening news. Let me see that, I said, grabbing his paper. It said, fill in the blanks. I really like blank. Blank is good. Blank is fun. I dream about blank. I like to read about blank. I like to draw blank. A good name for me is blank. How's he supposed to fill in the blanks when he can't even write? I asked my parents. I can write, Fudge said. Yeah, 3 words. So this is his homework. And then we can see on the other page how he fills it out. I don't need more than that, he told me, grabbing back his paper. He whipped right through it, saying, this is so easy. Then he proudly handed his paper back to me. Fill in the blanks. I really like money. Money is good. Money is fun. I dream about money. I like to read about money. I like to draw money. A good name for me is Mr. Money. 2 days later, Fudge was sent to the school counselor to be evaluated. It was so fun, he told us that night. We played games and drew pictures. Guess what I drew? He didn't wait for us to guess. Money, money, money. And I made dollar signs with wings, lots and lots of them. Money, Tootsie sang. Mom and Dad got a call from the school counselor who asked to meet with them. They went on Wednesday afternoon. Grandma babysat for Tootsie. When they got back, Mom was really upset. Do you know what the counselor asked us? Mom said to Grandma. She asked us if we're having a problem at home, if we've lost our jobs or need financial help. It was so embarrassing. Grandma made Mom a cup of tea. You can't take it personally, Anne, Grandma said. She's just doing her job. That's not all, Mom continued. She suggested that instead of buying things for our children, we could stress all the good things in life that are free. As if we don't, Mom choked up. I just don't know what to do about this. It'll pass, honey, Grandma told her. But what if it doesn't, Mom asked. Let's not worry about that before we have to, Grandma said. That night, when Mom came to my room to say goodnight, she sat on the edge of my bed. Peter, I've been wondering, have Dad and I taught you that the best things in life are free, like good health and love and friendship? That's what we stress in our family, isn't it? Yeah, Mom, sure. And you understand no matter how much money you have, you aren't necessarily happy. You know that, don't you, Peter? Sure, Mom, I know that. It's like no matter how much money Jimmy might have, he can't make his parents get back together. He can't even make them like each other. Mom got teary-eyed. But just so you know, Mom, I don't think about that stuff every day. Don't think about what? It's not like I get up in the morning and say to myself, wow, the best things in life are free. Well, what do you think? She asked. First thing in the morning, you mean? Mom nodded. I don't know. Usually I wish I could sleep later, or I wonder if I studied enough for my Spanish test, or I think about the Mets or the Knicks or the Rangers, depending on the sports season. But you don't get up in the morning and think about money, do you? No, Mom. I mean, maybe if we were seriously deprived and we didn't have enough food to eat, but then I guess I would wake up thinking about food and not money. Just so long as money isn't number 1 in your thoughts, Mom said, or even number 20. Probably if I made a list, it wouldn't be, I told her. Thank you, Pete. That makes me feel much better. And that's the end of chapter 6. So I'll get better and I'll make sure that I'm reading chapters more often so we don't have big lags like we did this time. But I hope you're enjoying the book so far. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of Fudge's money obsession and get back to normal. All right, get your math done today. And I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.